Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. I welcome you all in the third session of Knowing Masumeen, which is Imam Ali alayhi salam. I will request Ibrahim to start recitation. A loud salawat, please.
محمد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Now I would like to invite Brother Mustajab Naqvi to start his presentation on Imam Ali alayhi salam. Please join him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Abbas. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today's session is Imam Ali on the series of 14 Masumeen alayhi salam. My name is Mustajab, and I'm going to take you on this journey of Imam Ali's life. So look again, thanks to Kissa Publication. This is a timeline, brief timeline. We will be covering a lot of other things. As you can see, Imam Ali was born in 680, and all the major events that took with 40th Hijri when he was martyred. May Allah curse the killers of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Like all the other parts that we have done and we will be doing in the future, it is to help you guys better understand the Imam of our time. All Imam at that time, which was the time whoever was living, are to be obeyed to full extent. And for us to understand that an Imam is doing what is the commandment of Allah. And inshallah, there would be a message at the end where we can understand some of the questions that kids had. When I was a little kid, I used to have these questions. So hopefully we can answer some of them. So let us begin. And as I said, a reminder of pre-Islamic era. The years before Hijri calendar was introduced was done on major events that took place. And people used to remember them by the event that took place. So the event that happened in 570 AD, the year of the elephant, where Abraha failed to destroy the Kaaba. Abbas, can we mute everyone, please?
Yes, we can. Let me check who is talking.
Done?
Yeah, everyone is on mute actually. I will go on mute as well.
Yeah, okay. All right. So look, just a reminder so that people know how do people used to remember the calendars and years. They used to go by major events. If you can't remember the day, you say, oh, remember the time in the village. Still people do that in Pakistan and India and others. Oh, remember when this thing happened, when the flood happened or the drought happened. So similarly, at the time, people remember by major events such as drought, and such as 570 AD of the year of the elephant. So moving forward, that's the time. So what I have done here is I have summarized the life of Imam Ali alayhi salam in 5 major parts, and inshallah we'll be going through each one of them and trying to get a summary so that you guys can have better understanding of your Imam and the successor of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the life as it starts. So the first part is obviously when a person is born. So from the birth until the start of the Prophet's mission, which is called Bitha. So now, what is the start of the mission? When he was revealed the Quran and he started his prophetic mission. A prophet is a prophet when he is born in this world and before that. So Prophet Muhammad was the prophet before it was just announced to the public in Beta that he is now the Holy Prophet and was to preach the message of Islam, Tawheed, oneness of Allah to everyone. That's what he did. So from the birth until the start of the prophetic mission. Then, so from birth, which means the birth of Imam Ali, from his birth until the prophetic mission started. Then the second one is the start of the prophetic mission until the immigration of Hijrah. So when he announced that I am the prophet, Allah is one, from that point till the prophet and the Muslims migrated from Mecca to Yathrib, which is now known as Medina. So what happened in the third major part? It was from the immigration of Medina. So by the time when they remigrated to Medina, which is Yathrib, to the passing of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The fourth is from the passing of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until Imam Ali alayhi salam became the Caliph, which is the ruler for the world. He was born a Caliph. He was a successor. Keep that in mind. Appointed by Allah. So the title Amir al-Mu'mineen is the title given to Imam Ali and only Imam Ali by Allah before the creation was done. The fifth is the period of his caliphate till his martyrdom. So the time he became the caliph. So as everyone in Muslim Ummah calls him the fourth caliph. So from that time till his martyrdom. May Allah curse the killers of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So let's start with the birth of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And I'm sure a lot of you know the famous story behind Imam Ali alayhi salam, and I'll try to briefly summarize it inshallah so everyone can understand. So it was the time of which we know the date is 13th of Rajab. It was the time when Fatima bint Asad, the wife of Abu Talib, the mother of Imam Ali alayhi salam, she was pregnant and she reached the Kaaba and she was in severe pain. She knew it was time for the kid to come. And we know from miracles of Imam Ali that he used to communicate and speak with his mother. So when she reached here, she supplicated to Allah, which is make a dua. She said, "Oh Allah, please have mercy on me for the sake of Ibrahim who built the Kaaba." When she made that prayer, the wall, as you can see a part of it, which also shows cracked. The wall cracked open and Fatima bint Asad entered the Kaaba. She was asked to enter the Kaaba. And as the custodians of the Kaaba, the people keys, they were idols all around the Kaaba, inside the Kaaba, they used to worship. They had the keys, so no one could actually go inside the Kaaba. They watch in awe. One of them was Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, who was from the family of the Prophet. He was an uncle of Prophet and along with a trader that was visiting at the time. So this is widely narrated that was there. They closed the door. So what Abbas and other people said, oh, we need to, they saw the condition of Bibi Fatima bint Asad and then said the mother of Imam Ali, and they said, oh, we need to go and help him. She needs help. They called the woman. So when he tried and opened the door, they couldn't open the door, because it was the will of Allah that Imam Ali was to be born in a miracle way, and people would witness the miracle of Imam Ali. So Imam Ali is the only man on earth to be born inside the house of God on the 13th of Rajab. So they watched. 3 days passed. After 3 days, during that time, Imam Ali was born inside the Kaaba. Bibi Fatma bint Asad, the mother of Imam Ali, received food straight from the heaven. So obviously, when she went in and she stayed for 3 days, she needed something to eat and drink. All of the food and the drink came straight away from heaven. We'll take questions at the very end. So if you have, you can write them in the chat, and I'll take the questions at the very end. And I'll stay longer. Anyone who has any questions will answer them. So on the 15th, on the third day, she came out. I'll take questions at the end, please. On the day she came out, the angel called and said, "Name him Ali." Ali is the name, the exalted one. It's one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he was given that name. She came out. People asked what happened. And obviously people saw the miracle. It's not the modern world where you're seeing movies and there's green screen and things could happen. If a wall cracked open, people could understand an earthquake could have opened. But when it sealed back in and no one was able to open the door, especially the people who opened the door every then and now, who were the custodians of Kaaba. She came out, they asked what happened, she narrated the incident. Now, people at that time did believe in miracles. They know that this was built by Prophet Ibrahim, and it was the family of Abdul Muttalib that used to look after it. So when he came out, they told that, "What have you called him?" She narrated the incident. The angel said, "Call him Ali." Then Abu Talib was overjoyed and happy to see Imam Ali. So was the Prophet. And it is widely narrated that Imam Ali opened the eyes once he saw Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is the birth. And I'm sure you guys have heard it in deep lot many times, but I will take questions on whoever had read it then. So that was the birth of Imam Ali alayhi salam. As we go, and these are summary points for you guys to remember, from birth until the start of the Prophet mission, which is when Prophet was announced Prophet for the world. Imam Ali remained under the care of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, the story behind that is that Imam Ali, as Imam Ali was growing up, he was 5 to 6 year old. There was a severe drought, and there people and Abu Talib's family was a huge family, and they had a lot of kids, and they were going through, and it was financially heavy on him. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Abbas, who was one of the wealthiest members of Bani Hashim tribe, and he said, "We should take one child each of Abu Talib to lessen his burden." So they presented the idea to Abu Talib. Abu Talib accepted the idea. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took Imam Ali Abi Talib into his careship, and who was the other? The other was Abbas. He took Jafar ibn Abi Talib into his careship. So from that time onwards, Imam Ali remained under the careship of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means he learned everything from his childhood from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He taught him the basic manners, education. He used to teach him basic morals and ethics and other things, and asked Imam Ali to practice them. And Imam Ali rightly obeyed the Imam of his time, which was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the leader of the time. So as it went, Imam Ali has said in his, and if you guys read Nahjul Balagha, you can read it in one of the sermons of Qasiyah. He said that he was the only one to be witness at the time of the cave of Hira. So Prophet, so there was a tradition which was followed, and it is narrated that this tradition was followed by the family of the Prophet before. His grandfathers did it, and so did he. He used to go once a month in an year, every year, to the cave of Hira, where in solitude he used to worship Allah. And after coming from here, he used to go around the Kaaba 7 times, or whatever times it was the commanded by Allah at the time. Imam Ali is the only one who witnessed. So when the angel Jibreel, who came for revealing that the first verses of the Quran, the message of the Bitah, Imam Ali was there to witness Prophet do it. Before that, And let me tell you a special incident what used to happen. So just before the Prophet, when he used to go there, Imam Ali once heard wailing and crying and shouting of someone. Imam Ali asked Prophet Muhammad, who's that wailing is? And he said, that's the wailing and the crying and the noise of Shaitan, Iblis. And he said he's crying because he's now scared that no one will obey him. After the message of Islam comes out and people who are obeying and falling idol worshippers, doing all sort of bad things, there will be a path for people to follow. So that's what happened. So Imam Ali witnessed the actual. So Imam Ali was able to see the angel. Imam Ali was able to hear the message at the time. This is narrated by the Prophet that he was the one who narrated, as well as by Imam Ali. So that's how he was the first to witness the revelation. And as we go from the start of the prophetic mission, after this, the prophetic mission obviously started. He was to communicate the message of Allah, but in a strategic way, which Prophet did, which we'll see it. So he firstly did it to few people, selected individuals. Then he did it to his family, the near ones, and then it was general public. So Imam Ali, and there are a lot of things, but there are a lot of first for him in the world, which other people can't say. He was the first to accept the religion of Islam. He was the first to witness the Prophet get the revelation. Evidence of Imam Ali's precedence in accepting Islam. So on that, the evidence of Imam Ali's precedence in accepting Islam. So as anyone know, there was an event called Dawat-e-Dola, which was an event where Prophet asked. So Prophet was asked by angel Jibril, he came and he revealed that you should disclose the message to your nearer ones. Now, if we look at it strategically and importantly, if you go and start preaching other people and no one in your family have listened to you or accept you or understand you, other people will less likely listen to you. He said, oh, his family is not even listening to him. Why is telling us, right? So Prophet was asked to tell the people. So what Prophet did was, Prophet asked Imam Ali alayhi salam to invite 45 of the most important and notable individuals from Bani Hashim tribe at a dawat. And he said, can you please arrange meat and milk? Now, there are miracles narrated at this time as well, but I'll just dwell into other things because we've got so many other things. And Imam Ali's life is filled with miracles, and so is all the other Imams and the Prophet himself. So as he did, so for the first event was called, and as soon for and in our tradition, when we hear the message and then eat food, and Prophet made everyone eat the food, drink the milk, and then he wanted to speak. But before he could speak, Abu Lahab, he stood up and fabulously started saying bad things and here and then he went and it changed the people's mood, and they started getting up and then leaving the event. And the Prophet was not able to communicate his message. So the Prophet said to Imam Ali again on the second day to invite everyone again, with the exception of Abu Lahab, and he can say the message. Then he asked him to arrange meat and milk. They did it. Prophet announced the message, and he said, look, I have bring with you the message of Allah about Tawheed, about oneness of Allah, and he's the Prophet and messenger and Allah. And he said, oh, this is a great thing, and he wanted to share the news, and he asked who would accept, and everyone was silent. They were as if in shock that we all worship idol. What he's talking about, we worship this god, this god, this god, this idol, Lot, Mana, Urva, Uzza. What is he talking about? Why is he asking us what is oneness of God, Tawheed, all these things? So no one, they were in shock. Imam Ali rose and he said, oh, okay, I accept you and I accept this. Prophet asked him to sit down. Second time happened. Third time, Prophet accepted him, and he made the announcement at that time that Ali is my trustee and successor. So from the beginning of the creation of earth, Imam Ali has always been nominated as the successor of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it has been widely narrated by Prophet many times. Even at the cave of Hira, Prophet said, because I am the seal of the Prophet, which means I'm the last Prophet, there will be no Prophet. You will not be Prophet, but he will be the successor and would be commanding the same obedience and would have same things as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Going forward, the great, we'll talk about, so he became the supporter and deputy of the Prophet. It even happened at Tabuk when Prophet went. Prophet in his lifetime, for people say, why Prophet made it so obvious for everyone that Imam Ali was the successor and future leader of him, that when he went to Tabuk for the battle with the Romans, he appointed Imam Ali as the leader of the to rule Yathrib at the time, Medina. So let us talk about the great act of self-sacrifice. So 13 years after the beginning of the prophetic mission, Prophet was told that the council have gathered and they want to kill the Prophet. So what happened at that time was, Prophet asked Imam, and we have heard this story, Prophet asked Imam Ali to sleep in his bed. Imam Ali slept in his bed, and he asked, the only thing Imam Ali asked, by me sleeping in your bed, will your life be saved? He said, yes. Imam Ali slept, and he has said this was the night he slept. One of the best sleep that he had. So he slept, and the angels witnesses. Now, this is a great act of self-sacrifice. Now, imagine for a second, if anyone was to be in the shoes of Imam Ali and was asked to sleep in Prophet's bed, who was to be killed by all the people of different tribes with the sword, and they were, and the house is not the house like they had roofs on top. So house has window, they could see him. They were all waiting outside, and they wanted to strike when the light hit. So when they came to strike, and the Prophet gave, and before I tell you, the Prophet gave a green cloth which he used to wear. He said, use this as a blanket, and Imam lay in his bed. When they came to attack him, they said, where's Muhammad? Where's Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? I'm saying Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Obviously, they said Muhammad. Imam Ali said, did you left him to me? And now there are narrations which say some of them took Imam Ali and they beated him to the point that he reached death. There are other narrations that he went away. Anyhow, they went and chased the Prophet enough. That's part of the Prophet story. But that was a great act of sacrifice. Not only did Imam lie down in the bed of Prophet, he also slept in it. So moving forward, that's the second. Oh, there's my mouse. Okay. And somewhere in between, in 619 year of the sorrow, and I mentioned this in Prophet there, that Abu Talib and Bibi Khatija passed away. Abu Talib was the father of Imam Ali. So I'm just as a reminder, I have this slide. Now the third major part, from the immigration of Medina to the passing of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Imam Ali, the brother of Prophet. So when people came to Medina from Makkah, they were bonds of brotherhood formed. So what Prophet did was, he found bonds between two people who were similar, like 2 or 3 people. Umar's bond was done with Abu Bakr, just for everyone to know. And so were other similar people's done like this. So after everyone's bonds was done, Imam Ali was left alone. And he came to the Prophet and he was crying, and he said, you did not create a bond of brotherhood between me and another person. The Prophet replied, and he said, you are my brother in this world, both in this world and the next. So we know that the Prophet formed the bond of brotherhood with Imam Ali alayhi salam, which means the bond was to be formed between similar type of people with similar characteristics. So this is something we can understand from this. Now, the battles that happened, some of them at the time of Prophet, because this is the period that we are covering, is from the immigration of Medina to the passing of Holy Prophet. Between that, there are a lot of battles that happened. So some of the battles, Battle of Badr. Now, Battle of the Badr is the battle which I covered in Prophet Muhammad, but briefly I'm going to summarize it. It was 313 Muslims against about 950 and 1000 polytheists, or people from Quraysh who were idol worshippers. So they the caravan, they wanted to attack the caravan. Abu Sufyan got wind that they are coming to attack. He took a different route and he asked these Quraysh to come and support him. So there were 313. So 313 is the number that has come a couple of times in our history. 313 were the people at Badr. So they found what happened at that time was people don't used to fight one straight away. There used to be the tradition of Arab was the challenges were done one-on-one. So for the one-on-one challenges, what used to happen was there were 3 challenges from the side of Quraysh. It was Utbah, who was the father of Hind, who was the wife of Abu Sufyan, and his older brother Shaiba, and Utbah's son, whose name was Walid. They came and they challenged. So first from the Muslim side, 3 Ansars came in and they said, these are not worthy of our challenger. Send us someone who is from your relatives and who is worthy of us. Then it was Imam Ali, it was Ubaidah ibn Harid ibn Abdul Muttalib, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, and Imam Ali. These were the 3 people. Ubaidah, Hamza, and Imam Ali went. Hamza fought Shaiba, and Imam Ali fought Walid, and they both killed them. The battle between Utbah, who was the father of Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan, was between Ubaidah ibn Abdul Muttalib, ibn Haritha ibn Abdul Muttalib. So the battle was, then Imam Ali and Hamza came, they defeated the battle. It is narrated that Imam Ali killed about 36 people alone, not including the people that he went and helped and killed them. So it is narrated more than over half of the people that were killed in Badr from the Quraysh were killed by Imam Ali. The Quraysh got defeat and they lost. Now moving on, the second battle was the Battle of Uhud. Same Imam Ali at Uhud. So now from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, it is narrated that so at that time how the wars were done, when interesting fact, how the wars were done in Arab was they used to have flag bearers, or as we call in Urdu, alam, jinke paas alam hota tha. They were the flag bearers. So if you, and they were the strongest and the most powerful, most patient, holding ground people to be allocated the flag. So the flag bearers, they were 9, and they were from the tribe of Bani Abdul Dhar in Uhud, and Imam Ali killed all the 9 flag bearers. From that point, Quraysh thought they are losing the battle. And that's when some of the people that did not listen to the Prophet and they turned twisted, and Muslims faced defeat in that battle. The second battle, which is the Battle of Ahzab, is called, and there is a surah Ahzab as well. It is the Battle of Confederates, where all of the armies, the Quraysh, the polytheists, the Jews and other tribes, they combined together. They wanted to fight and defeat the Muslims. Now so Hazrat Salman, he said, or he gave an idea about the trenches, which is also called Battle of Khandak or Ghazwa Khandak. They dig trenches all around, and there was a siege for a long period of time. Moving forward, 4 of the people, and the Muslims were scared, they were being unfaithful, there were ayahs that came in. So long story short, there were 5 people that were able, when they thought it's taking too long, and the polytheists, the disbelievers, were running out of provisions that they bought in, because they didn't thought it was looking, and never ever in the Arab history anyone has dug a trench around to cover it. So basically they came across, from 5 people did. One of them was a guy called this guy. So I've got a picture of Amr ibn Abdul Wadud. It is narrated he was one of the fiercest warriors in Arab. He's defeated everyone. He got hurt in the Battle of Badr. He was not able to participate in the Battle of Uhud. So he came up, and he started shouting, "Who will fight me? Who will fight me?" And the Muslims were scared. They were scared. They were so scared, no one was saying anything. No one was answering him. When they look at him, they know that he has the strength of 1,000 people. They didn't want to fight him. It was famous. He had another name. I'm not going to go in other details. But so Imam Ali asked Prophet Muhammad ﷺ 3 times for permission. So first time he asked, he said, wait. Second time he asked, he said, wait. Third time he asked, he said, he gave the permission. Imam Ali was very young at that time at the Battle of Ahzab. So Imam Ali So what he did was, when he got the permission from Prophet said the famous words as we hear them: the whole of Islam has now been arrayed against the whole of disbelief, which means the whole power of Islam was going against the whole of the disbelievers. Now imagine if Islam had lost that time, Islam would not have survived. So we owe a great deal. The Islam owes a lot to Ahl Bayt, and especially Imam Ali, from the time and through his progeny that has gone on, right? So Imam Ali went there. The Amr ibn Abdul Wadud, he was on his horse mounted. Imam Ali was unmounted and on foot. He went and he said, I have heard that it is famous for you that, this is how Imam Ali talked to him, that if someone put 3 conditions for you, you will accept one of them. Is it true? And he said, yes. So Imam Ali said, my first offer to you is accept Islam. He said no. Imam Ali said, okay, leave the battle and go. And he said no. And he said, if I do, the women of Quraysh will not accept such an action from me. And he had famously said that I will not apply oil on my hairs until I get revenge on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Imam Ali said, then fight me. And he said, you are the son of my friend and I would like to fight you. Imam Ali said, I would like to kill you. Basically, the fight happened. Amr hit a very critical blow on Imam Ali's head. He brought his shield in front, his shield got broken, and it hit his head. And then Imam Ali got a chance and he defeated him. So this is how he got defeated. 4 other men, after they saw the defeat of such a big warrior, they ran away. One of them fell into the trench. Imam Ali chased him and he killed one of them. So moving forward, this is the Zulfiqar. Zulfiqar spoke to Imam Ali. Now, after this event, the Holy Prophet said, Imam Ali asked Bibi Fatima Zahra salam alayhi to wash the sword. She washed the sword. Imam Hassan brought it back to him. The sword had a spot of blood. And he said, oh, it has, why has she not washed it? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ask the Zulfiqar about it. Imam Ali moved the sword and it said, she did, but since you have not killed anyone as hated as Amr by the angels, they told me to drink his blood. Thus, whenever you unsheath it, the angels see the spot and they would invoke blessings upon you. Imam Ali at Khaybar. Now, everyone has heard that Imam Ali took the gate of the Khaybar and used it as the shield. And Abu Rafi has said he went after that with 7 people, tried to lift the gate. They couldn't. It is narrated it's about 70 people were required to lift the gate. 7 people could obviously not lift it from the ground. So Imam used it as a battle. But what is not widely told is when fortresses are made, and the Jews of Khaybar had multiple fortresses. There is an area which you see in the movies or cartoons that a door to the castle opens and it goes over a river or a very deep trench, which is a deep hole. So the gate was that Imam Ali took out was 18 hands long, which means if you measure by hands, it was 18 hands long. And the moat is that gap, this trench, which is often filled with water from to the enter, because he placed it for Muslims to cross over. And the other side, it has been narrated that about 8,700 men army actually cross over it. So I've already told about angel with 24 faces, and I think we are short on time, so I'll skip this one. Imam Ali got married to Bibi Fatima Zahra. We know that. We will go on to the event of Ghadir Qum. So Ghadir Qum is where Prophet announced that Ali is the Mawla of YM Mawla. So there was a guy, his name was Harith ibn Numan Fahri, or it is also narrated that it could be Nade ibn Harith. He said, oh, is it true that Allah has said that Allah has asked, or are you saying from yourself, yeah, Prophet? We have listened to you. We listened when you asked us to do namaz. We listened when you asked us to do fasting, zakat, and all these things, to go on jihad. But now you're saying to accept Imam Ali. Basically, he had hatred for Imam Ali. He had. So Prophet said, yes, yes. As he was going back, he said, oh, may a stone hit me. If this is from Allah, then a stone fell on the denier of the Vilayat of Ali. So we know he was struck by a stone, and stone went straight from the top of his vent and went back out of him. And then in Al-Marij, we have these ayahs: a supplicant asks for a punishment bound to happen. To the disbelievers of it, there is no preventer. So if you are indulged in hatred of Imam Ali, Allah will punish you in this world as well as in the hereafter. We already know that we have to obey Imam Ali alayhi salam, because, O Ali, you are my successor and Imam of my community. Whoever obeys you obeys me, and the one disobeys you disobeys me. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if someone obeys you, he's obeying me, and if he disobeys you, he disobeys me. Imam Ali was the successor of Holy Prophet. Hazrat Salman Farsi asked him, and he was told. Moving forward to the last part, from the passing of Prophet until Imam Ali became Caliph. He became after the issue. Now, a lot of people ask, and this is, I want everyone to carefully listen and understand, why did not Imam Ali took the sword? Why did Imam Ali not kill everyone and became and took the caliphate when they were taking? So Imam had two paths to choose. One of the path was to go and rage battle and take what was rightly his own and would have been right, but he had a foresightedness. He know if he do that he would weaken the Muslim community. As after the death of Prophet, some of the Muslims started, going back to idolship. As soon as the Prophet died, some again, so Muslims were becoming weak. The Romans also wanted to attack Islam, as they looked at it as a growing force that were going. So Imam Ali took the path of patience, and he remained patient because he was aware of the domestic and foreign dangers, as I mentioned. What were the activities of Imam Ali during the time of the three caliphs? What was he doing? He was busy in act of worship. He was serving the God. He was Imam Sajjad has said that Imam Ali used to worship that like no other. He did commentary on the Holy Quran. He solved various mysteries of its verses. He trained and educated number of students, such as Abdullah ibn Abbas, who was trained by Imam Ali. And he is one of the greatest commentators among the companions, and there are a lot of narrations from him. He answered various scholarly questions. Your scholars from different religion, Christian and other, used to come and they used to ask these questions to him. Another group which had the purity of heart and basic spiritual foundation was trained. So Imam Ali also trained people who in spiritual wayfaring. And this is some term that you guys can understand and deep research on. There is a path. So basically he did all of these things, and whenever there was new situations that used to come, such as we have something right now, oh, am I listened to do this, am I allowed to do this, there were some new things that ever Imam Ali, with his wisdom and knowledge, helped the Muslim community by saying. He also helped against the wars of the Romans at the time of Abu Bakr, as well as stopped Umar as well, and he listened to what Imam Ali said. And Umar has widely said it that if it was not for Imam Ali, he would have been destroyed, perished. Okay. So after that, the last part is the period of his caliphate till his martyrdom. So after Uthman was killed, and the reason Uthman was killed was he was involved in he and his government was involved in a lot of corrupt practices, and people stood up against him and they wanted to get rid. At that time, people did not stood up because they wanted Imam Ali to be the new caliph. They were just against the corruption and practices. When one of the bad things he did was he brought Hakam and Marwan, his son, who had been who was asked by the Prophet, and they were sent outside of the area, never to be returned. So they were perished and not to return. And even Abu Bakr and Umar did not had the heart to bring them back. He brought them back. He married his daughter to Marwan and made him look after the bookkeeping of the treasures. People were against him. And whenever Usman used to come in and try to dispel the people by changing or softening his policies, Marwan used to be the one. So eventually he got killed. And it is narrated for 4 to 5 days, there was no one that took oath of Imam Ali. Eventually, everyone came in and they started coming to Imam Ali. Imam Ali did not accept the caliphate straight away. He denied it so many times. He rejected it until a time they started coming that his sons and everyone was getting crippled. And it was a point that they would be so out that they would kill him and his family. So Imam basically accepted. So the point here is they forced Imam into accepting allegiance, that they give allegiance to Imam, do the bayat of Imam and accept him. He became the Imam. I have explained the lofty position of the Imam. He was high status. Everyone knew his feats in the battle, his education, his knowledge, he helping other caliphs, all of these things. After Imam became there were three battles that happened. The Battle of the Camel, which is the Battle of Nakhteen. And I've written this. Nakhteen are the pledge breakers. The people who pledged, take an oath, and they broke it. And Talha and Zubair were two of them. Ran from Medina and joined to Makkah. They got Umayyads to help him with the money that was Muslim money. They raised an army. They went to attack the Basra. They took the city. Imam Ali went from Medina, attacked them, and defeated them. The Battle of Qasitin, which is the Battle of Siffin, and I'll leave for Qasitin for people to go and find. Battle of Siffin, which happened with Muawiyah, Imam Ali. The army went. Imam Ali did not accept Muawiyah as the governor because of his corrupt practices and other things he was doing. He wanted to get rid of him. So they fought the battle. The battle was coming to end. That all of a sudden, Muawiyah played a trickery. He played a trick where he sent that people accepted, then an arbitrator comes in place, and Abu Musa, I'm naming the person, Abu Musa was the arbiter from his side, and people forced Imam Ali into accepting that whatever people decide, that would be the decision, because they were holding the Qurans on the arrows. And so when they saw what Abu Musa did, they were not happy with him. And the people who forced Imam Ali to accept it, they later wanted him to break the treaty, which Imam did not broke. So they became the Khawarijins, and the Battle of Nahrawan happened, which Imam Ali also came victorious. But after defeating the Khawarijis, Imam Ali was there were still people who wanted to kill him, and eventually that's how it happened. But I just wanted everyone to know dua, and this dua is specifically for this time, how we are going in. This was a time, and I'll just briefly tell the story. There was a guy who came to Umar's time when he was the caliph on the worldly manner. He came and he said, my sheeps and my animals don't listen to me. They start attacking me. He told him, okay, that is the cat, go and say that he wrote a letter that is from the chief of believer, and the jinn or shaitan go away. When he went, there was a companion of Imam Ali who heard this, and he told Imam Ali, he said, this guy will be unsuccessful, he will come back. When he went there, he came back after 1 year. He said, oh, you're back. He said his hand was almost paralyzed. He was badly beaten. He said, yes, they attacked. After I put this note, which Umar gave me, they even attacked me even more. So Imam Ali gave him a dua, and this dua is, and I want everyone to listen, and we can share it in the groups and others. Oh Allah, I turn towards you through your Prophet of mercy and his Ahle Bayt alayhi salam, whom you choose over the worlds. O Allah, lower for me its difficulties and grief, and suffice me for its mischief, as you are sufficient as the meaning and dominating the forceful. So basically, we're asking Allah to help us. And Amir al-Mu'minin also said about this dua, whoever face loss of wealth or children, or is afraid of a rebellious ruler or attack happen, should recite this supplication. If Allah wills, all his fears would be dispelled. So this was the dua taught. He went back, and all of them became obedient to him. I'm just summarizing it. It's an interesting story, but I have to move forward. I think we have gone over, so I won't do this one. There was a woman who was cured her blindness by Imam Ali. Her father fought in the Battle of Siffin, and when Imam Ali visited the two orphan girls and her mother, Because of smallpox, her eyesight was gone. Imam did a supplication and our eyes were restored. And this was told by Qutb Rawandi, has narrated it through Abdul Wahid bin Zaid. This was done when she was visiting the Khana Kaaba, and he heard her saying about praises about Imam Ali, and then she told this story, how she was cured. Now, this is the, so we're coming to an end. So I've got only 2 slides left. So Shamun is the hermit. Hermit are people who live in isolate, and the story of a black rock. So Imam Ali on his way to the battle of Siffin, and all these stories are related to the Siffin. As he was going through, he saw his army was very thirsty, and the next water was 6 miles away, and there was sand and sand. And what he saw was, he asked his people to dig a hole. They dig a hole. Eventually, they found a black rock. When they found a black rock, they tried. Everyone in the Imam's army tried to lift it. They couldn't use it with the spade. They can't lift it. Then Imam Ali came. He did the supplication. He threw the rock 40 yards away. So not only did Imam Ali carried the door of Khaybar, he picked up this heavy rock which no one was to lift. Now, they drank and they said, oh, this is the sweetest water. It tastes like honey. It is so clear like ruby and all these things. There was this hermit whose name was Shamun was watching. He came to Imam Ali, and Imam Ali, before he could speak, Imam Ali said to him, are you Shamun? And he said, only my mother know this name. How do you know? And he said, so he told him about his position. And then he said, I want to know the facts about this spring and what it is called. So Imam Ali told him that this water spring that came out, it is called Rahuma. And there are multiple narrations of it, Rahuma spring, and it is a spring of paradise. And 313 successor of prophets have drunk water from it, and I am the last of them. So he was the last. He was a 313 successor of a prophet. Each successor of a prophet, 313, not all of them have drank. It is also narrated that this wellspring is from Prophet Shoaib. So there are other miracles. I'm not going and covering them. I'm just pausing there for 30 seconds while I have water. You guys can read it. And these are some of them that you guys can go and read on your own. There are hundreds and hundreds of them, but these are some of them that you will find interesting to read. And if you're not scared, you can read the incident of Atrafa Jinn, how jinns do actually look like, as well as the flying carpet, My tongue is twisting. So last one, and we end. And this is the moral of the story, which I want to tell everyone is. And before that, the very small story. There were 2 guys, and one of them was Khariji. Khariji were people who were defeated. They came for Imam Ali to judge them. Imam Ali made a judgment against the Kharij, and he said, so can we mute whoever is talking?
Okay, I'm muted.
Yeah. So, okay, quickly. So Imam Ali said, and he said to Imam Ali, by the God, you have not observed justice. This justice is not liked by God. So Imam pointed at him and said, get out from here, you dog. And all of a sudden, his clothes fell and he turned into a dog. And he started wagging his tail, and tears started flowing from his eyes. Imam had pity on his condition, and he said some words which no one could understand what language it was in, and he turned him back to a human, and with trembling feet, he went out of the mosque. Now, when people saw this, they said, oh, Imam, ya Imam, they say, Mawla, 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 like we do when we go to a mosque and everyone say, Mawla, 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 they said, and he said, what was this? And he said, he narrated the story of Prophet Sulaiman and Asif ibn Bilkariya. He said he had one name of Allah, ism of Allah, and he used it to shorten the earth to get the seat of Bilqis. And he said, I have 70 to be, and we, all the Imams, the Alibet, and the Prophet have 72 names. One name Allah has kept. There are 73 names of Allah, and through which one Allah has kept for himself exclusively. We have 72, and we. So basically, like us, they said the same thing. Oh, Imam, if you have such spiritual power and so much you could turn a man back, why can't you just defeat Mavia through spiritual powers? So why did, if all of, and I want you guys to think about it for a few seconds, why did all of the Imams, when they had great powers, even Prophet had great power, he could have just rolled his finger and all the armies would have defeated. Why gather the people, do all the hard work, train them, fight all the battles? Why did all the Imams did not defeat all the caliphs of their time? With just a flick of a finger, they could have done like this and it would have happened. Why did Imam did not use spiritual powers? So going back, Imam did not use, he said, I'm calling people. And on this, there's a saying here. So this is what the Imam said. On the contrary, there are honorable servants who do not precede him in speaking, and they fulfill his commands, fulfill commands of Allah. I am calling people so that the proof may be established. Why is he calling people? So a proof may be established. And if I had, and then Imam said that if he had received permission to use spiritual powers, he would not have delayed a second. But through this, through calling, through the Prophet, through the Imams, the people, and the time, and all the stories that we hear are to test the sincerity of Allah's servants as well as the Imams, right? So Imam had all the powers, yet did not use it. And he followed the commands of Allah. So this is for us to learn that why we have to go through this difficult. Now, the family tree, which we have covered, his brother cousin was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His father was Abu Talib. His mother was Fatma bint Asad. I told at the start. Wife was Fatma Zahra sallallahu alaihi. First son was Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Second son Imam Hussain alayhi salam. First daughter was Bibi Zainab, and second daughter was Bibi Kulthum. I have not covered kids from other family. I'm just covering the tree with the Prophet and Bibi Fatima Zahra. So the martyrdom of Imam Ali happened on the 21st of Ramadan, which was in 40th Hijri, and Imam was martyred by Abdul Rahman ibn Muljam. May Allah curse him. Now, and the earth and the heavens wept for 40 years. And after the Imam passed away. And why was this? Because we have heard from the Prophet that when a believer dies, the earth and the heaven cries for 40 days. When a scholar passes away, a great scholar, for 40 months. When a prophet passes away, 40 years. And then the Prophet said, for Imam Ali, for you, it would be 40 years. Now, some of the other events that happened, Ibn Abbas said that Hazrat Ali was martyred. For 3 days, the sky was felt like bleeding. Sayyid ibn Musaib said when Ali was martyred, every stone that was picked up had fresh blood underneath it. And Zohri says the day when Ali alayhi salam was martyred, when a stone was lifted from earth in Jerusalem, fresh blood was found underneath it. So finishing off, that was the story of Imam Ali. We went through all of these things. I can't do justice to any of the 14 Masumeen. There are so many things. I'm just trying to get few things across. So hopefully you guys can learn from it. And there are so many miracles of Imam Ali. There are so many things. Imam Ali was a servant of Allah. He worshipped God, and that's what he wants us to do, to understand Tawheed. And remember, for us, Imam's call is, if you want to understand something, know the opposite. So for us to know the opposite is, if we want to understand Tawheed, we have to understand what is shirk and where. We are often indulged in intentionally in shirk because we do not understand what it is. We have to understand all of these things, and there will be other lessons. So look, this is the end. I'll take questions from now. I'm going to stop here. So anyone who has questions, I'll take it. As promised, whoever wants to leave, they can leave. The session is finished. I'm just taking questions now.